Hey, good day. It's I think it's Wednesday. This we get to this quarantine time. Half the time we have no idea what day of the week it is. If you're like me, it's just one of these ongoing long days. I'm getting to this point of like having some awesome conversations with some incredible people that I didn't even know prior to. And I don't know about you, but there's some cool people in the world. I'm finding a lot of them exist online. Hey, how you guys doing today? So I had this conversation with a lady today named Sam Willing. Has a podcast called oh man, I might lose the name of the podcast. Imperfection Wins. It's called the Imperfection. How you doing, Peter? How you doing, Lucia Deana Alan? Good morning. Hey, Chris Humphries. How you guys doing? And so I had this conversation, Imperfection Wins podcast, and I've been on a whole bunch of podcasts lately. I've been on a bunch of summits lately. I gotta shave at some point in time. And you guys get those crazy haircuts where like your beard's too long and your hair's too long, so I'm wearing hats. If you ever see me wearing a hat, I'm wearing a hat because my hair is too long. What's good, Dominic? Soda, how you doing? So here's the thing, conversation-wise, I had this interesting talk today, and it was about, what does somebody do when they're in a space of wanting to do something, but like they don't feel like they could take the step, the imposter syndrome, right? Hi, Dad, Michaela. I'm not your dad, but I appreciate it. Hey, from Finland, how you doing? Looks good, says it looks good. Thank you. So what do you do when you have this thought of like, I want to create something, but I'm a little bit leery or not feeling comfortable taking the next step? And so what I was explaining to her as we kind of prep for this podcast on Monday, it'll be live 7 a.m. I believe. I'll share the link here. It'll be on Facebook. The thought I was explaining was like, you can't get to the point of where you have this fear around something so much you stop, but here's what you got to focus on. You have to focus on a perspective of like, I am going to create something special, and I'm gonna press it into, when I create, it alleviates the pain. Like, that's really what it boils down to is I have to take a step in a direction where the more I do something, the less fear I have around it. And I'm going to step inside and get something real quick because my voice is getting raspy. But what's up? How you doing, King Karen? Drink some of that? You can hear my voice?
Yeah, keep sharing.
My wife's over here making fun of me because I'm clearing my voice, and it's not good. I'm going to take some of my... Have you guys ever had mud water before? Mud water is it's a bunch of stuff like reishi and cacao and honey. How you doing, Adrienne, Qing Qing Kanaan? Oh, that's some good mud water, Christine. You gonna have some? My wife doesn't like my mud water. Look at that. So here's what I'm gonna tell you to do. There's a reason why you have you're sitting home, maybe a little bit antsy at home right now, wondering what should I do. And man, I had this thought, and a lot of us will wait to create something. We're going to wait a little bit because maybe I can hold off on this. I can make this later. Right now, it's like, do I make this direction? Because what if the world goes back to normal, which is never going to go back to normal? Hey, Idol, I appreciate you, man. From Doha, shout out here from Doha Rowan. Rowan Aguilar, appreciate the love. So here's what I want you to do. Here's the statement I want to make and I want to lead into and talk about. Don't wait, create. Simple, right? Don't wait, create. Now, if you think about it, why would you wait? What would be the thing that makes you wait? Well, I'm going to wait because, I don't know, or it might take a little bit of time that I'm not prepared to give. Maybe it's investment. Maybe I just don't know. Maybe there's a fear around, what if I get rejected? What if I try? What if I wait to this and I get a rejection, right? Because that kind of sucks. How you doing, 250 be it? Mihara, virasana. Hey, I think it's Fokane. I'm doing good, Chuck. Will you be my trainer? I'm not a trainer. I feel like maybe I look like it, but not. I'm doing well, Andy. So don't wait, create, right? The idea is if you wait for a long time, somebody else is going to create that thing that you could have made, you could have created. Today I was working on this concept. Tell me what you think of this concept, because I think it leads into the perspective of opportunities. Imagine you are trying to travel from, let's say, the United States in California to Florida, from one side of the country to the other side of the country. There's a few ways you can get there. And a lot of us, we choose to like hold back and wait, and we don't start creating. What happens when you don't create, you don't pick up speed. And here's what I mean by this. There's 5 different ways you can get from one point to the other. And some, they get different speeds, different destinations, different traction. David, I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you. Zambia? How do you pronounce Zambia? I thought it was Zamibia is all I knew of. But man, I appreciate it. Shredder Jr., how you doing, man? Glad to have you here. And so here's what I look at. You have 5 ways to get from one point to the other. One way is you can walk. You can go on foot. And going on foot takes a lot of time. You think about walking from one side to the other, talking about months to get from one side of the country to the other side of the country. Now, this person, they're going off just sheer their own power, not much help, not much insight. They're just going slow. The second level is I can ride something. I can ride a bike. I can ride a skateboard. I can ride something. How you doing, my man? Evan Carmichael's on the line. I love that guy, man. He's a good dude. You guys don't know Evan Carmichael's book is out. Built to Serve. His book, Built to Serve, is out. Go pick it up. Evan Carmichael, you can't miss that man. Then what you have is the third level is somebody who kind of, for the most part, like drives, right? In a vehicle, a car, right? We'll call it a car, is driving on the ground level going. And so what happens is I have these aspects. I got the person that walks, a certain pace I go, a person that's riding. These two people are going off their own power. They're going off who they are, what they've got, self-made, right? You ever heard of somebody say self-made? A self-made person can only go a certain distance, right? It's kind of difficult for them to really get to the next level because they're going off just that self-power. Then you got the person, the driver. The driver's in a vehicle, in a car. Now they can get from point A to point B. These two are going to die out before they get there. They're going to be dead tired if they ever do make it. But this person says, I need to go off power outside of my own body. They go and get coaching, they get insight, they get information, they go join coaching programs, they get the masterminds, they grow, right? They're driving, they're driver, they go at a different pace from one to the other. The problem is they also have roadblocks. They have stop signs. And these stop signs are issues in their head, their mentality, their mindset, perspective, where they go, you know what? I don't know if I'm good. Marco, give me a minute. I'll definitely go live with you. Let me finish this thought. These people, they go at a pace, but there's always these inherent things that slow themselves down where they start questioning, am I good enough? Do I have time? Should I make the reach out? What if I get told no? What if nobody likes this, right? They always have these perspectives. Nick, my day is going great, man. Appreciate it. Then you have the next two. Now, the next one is a pilot. Now, this person, think about it. This pilot is different from a driver. Still, they got the same coaching, same insight. They got some of the same things. What they did, though, is they took longer to get all the information they needed to become a pilot. A pilot's license is way different than a driver's license. I got to learn to fly. I got to get all this insight. But think about what happens when I put the time, energy, and investment into learning how to fly. Now, the flight is like, it's hard. It's investment. If you're talking about the real world of like going from a driver to a pilot, it's taking the lumps. It's going out and putting your face in the mud and like doing the things nobody else wants to do and taking the lumps, taking the licks, and then still keep on ticking, right? And eventually that person can build, they can create, they can win. And then what happens is I can take off and fly, and guess what's in the air? There are no speed bumps. There are no blockages. There are no stoplights. There's none of those things. What ends up happening is this person can free fly as fast as they want to the next destination. And in your head, you're like, oh, I'm going to get there faster. If it's to an opportunity, and all this stuff's talking about an opportunity, I can walk to the opportunity. Takes forever. I'm going to die on the way there. I can try to ride a bike to get there. Takes a long time. I can drive my car. Takes some days, but when I get there, I'm going to miss out on the opportunity that the pilots had. Because the pilots get there quicker, faster, smarter. They get there. But then you had the last one. And this is the one that's unique. The last one's an astronaut. Above. And think about every level you get higher and higher. I'm walking, then I'm on a bike a little bit higher, or skateboard a little bit higher. Then I'm in a car, and maybe in a truck, I'm a little bit higher, right? And then I'm driving, then I go to a plane, I'm higher. I can see this opportunity, it's in front of me. But think about what happens when you get to the top as an astronaut. You see things that nobody else saw, and you can get to other continents. Like, this is the people who just operate a tick outside of normalcy, and they maybe have more time, more energy, more money because they choose to see so much more. But if they want to go somewhere, rocket ship it there. They're going into the atmosphere, in the stratosphere, and they come down in different continents. Where you wanted to shoot to the other side of the country, they're going to the other side of the world. And so what I want you to ask yourself is, where do you stand in all this? Are you a person on foot who knows they can go somewhere, but they're struggling to really get there, and you're not going at a good pace, like you're self-made? You're the person, maybe on a bike, go a little bit faster. Maybe you got a little bit more of a tick. You're not afraid of speed, but still, you want to be self-made. Or you're a person that's like, I need a coach. I need some guidance. I need some help. I need some community. I need something to help me go a little bit faster outside of my own knowledge that gives me more power. Or you're a person that's a pilot, but you also, at this point, at this driver level, you're given your own roadblocks. You're stopping yourself. You're thinking about yourself of like, man, I'm struggling. An astronaut can fly a plane, but astronauts need to be in spaceships, Jason. Astronauts need to be in spaceships in outer space, damn it. And this person gives themselves their own roadblocks. And a pilot says, you know what? I'm going to that next level. Like, I'm going to take out the roadblocks and I'm going to do the crazy. I'm going to make that email go. I'm going to place the call. I'm going to post and record this video. I'm going to do this thing that most people won't do, or I'm going to do the thing that I see everybody else who's winning do that's been scaring me. And then you're an astronaut. Then the astronaut, because you got to think an astronaut is a pilot. They've been flying for a while, and eventually they go to the outer space and they're like, holy crap. I float around, I see everything you can't see. You're an ant to me. And the only difference between, I think, a pilot and an astronaut is more time, more practice, and a desire to go to space. Let me say this again. A desire to go to space. Because some people are content, and it's totally okay to be happy with where you're at. I love my life, and I love what I've created, but I do want more, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, but I desire to go to space. Like, I want to see what else is out there that nobody else can see, and that means I have to have a crew. Think about what a pilot has, the down crew, right? A pilot that's one level as an astronaut has an entire crew, a base of people outside of themselves that are helping guide and direct and coach and give them insight, and they're taking action, but they go to that next tier. So that's what it is. That's really the base of I want to leave you with today is what level are you? What pace are you going towards? Are you a person that's waiting or creating? And if you're waiting, you're not even on foot. You're sitting on the couch right now. You need to get off the couch and start getting to the point of creating something. Jason said, I need a coach, 40 and don't want to let old age take over. Need to train that brain to attack the goals. Jason, give me a message, man. This is what I do for a living. I don't just talk like this and like leave you guys like, no, I don't help you. This is genuinely what my company does. We focus solely on teaching people how to upgrade how they operate so they can level up and elevate their life and business. So they can make more income, more impact, and increase their notoriety in the world of what they do. That's what we do. That's not the focus of my talk today, but that's what I do, man. And this is the things that like I try to plant seeds and provide help and provide structure. And my clients do well because like I love the perspective of, because they're people trying to become astronauts. They're the ones who are like, I'm gonna try to create something and just keep pressing the issue. And there's levels they can climb to. So, hey, Mark, I said I would let you on if you're still here, man. Hit the little thing and I'll let you come on live because I think you'd ask the question. Those of you guys are on Instagram or Facebook, you might not be able to see my man Mark. But Mark, you got to put the little thing on here because if not, I can't have you come in because I don't even know how to get that thing to come on. Hello from London. Hey, Veronica, how you doing? Glad I hit you, Chris. Seriously, that means a lot to me, man. That's really the whole idea. Levels to this. Level up. I like it, McCanna G. I got to figure out how to pronounce people's names. Not that easy for me some days. I've had an interesting morning, and I feel like you guys, you don't even know it, but I can't see your face. But like you're looking at my face, and I genuinely, I'm excited that you're getting something from my brain today. Requested, he says. Let me see if I can go back and find this request, Mark. There it goes. Let's see if we can go live with Mark. Mark, don't be weird, man. Mark, I hope Mark's not weird. We're going to see what Mark has to say. You guys can at least hear him over here on Facebook, so you can't see him. Mark, how you doing? You got glasses on inside, man.
Nah, these are
blue blockers?
red light glasses. These are for the devices.
Oh, blue blockers.
Blue
I like it.
How
you doing,
man? I'm blessed, brother.
Good. Where's home?
This opportunity to try and, the unfortunate opportunity, turn it into an opportunity to learn and develop myself.
I like it. Smart.
That's the mindset. So, yeah, man, I wanted to really jump on. Obviously, I've got a few questions, but I want to just connect firstly. I know we're going to be setting up the podcast, soon. I've got my assistant reaching out next week. But I've also just got a few quick things I wanted to share with your audience and bring value from this side of things. All
right. Can you guys on Facebook, can you hear Mark? I'm trying to put the volume up. We got Veronica.
Yes, it's Marco,
over here. So talk a little. You can talk loud so people can Facebook can at least hear you. They can't see you, but they can hear you.
Sure. Yeah, I'll try my best. So my name is Marco Stavro, and I'm a 15-year-old serial entrepreneur, digital marketer from South Africa.
South Africa, okay.
It's a really special place that everyone needs to visit. And we're going to grow the entrepreneurial space here.
All right.
But
what questions you got?
I just finished up a podcast, and I was just thinking of some thoughts I want to share with your audience and just saying how amazing the opportunity we have right now to be able to build new relationships, to build our network. From interviewing people worth billions, from interviewing people who have served thousands, I can really say firsthand that we need to utilize the time that we have. And this opportunity with social media, with podcasting, is just crazy to see what you can do.
I agree. So you can do a whole lot. That's a cool part about what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you're just putting out such amazing content and value. And I definitely think that in the long term, it's gonna really fly.
They love your shades too. You guys on Facebook can't see, but Mark got these cool like red light, blue blocker shades on. I'm not even as cool as you right now, man.
I'll send you an article. Really interesting. I know you're interested in.
All right, I'll check it out.
But
genuinely, we'll check it out.
Crazy to see what the devices are doing to us.
Yeah.
Just really sad. But my question is, if you could kind of reflect on your journey and kind of say, what would I tell my 16-year-old self, Anthony? What thing would you tell him?
What's the interesting thing is 16-year-old Anthony grew up in a vastly different world than my 16-year-old now. Well, he's 15. He'll be 16 this year. So I'll look at it from two perspectives. One perspective, I'll say I'm going to look at professionally, what could I give it an insight to help progress? And then 2, personal. Like, what would I tell them as a personal, as a human? So the first thing I would say, from an aspect of like, what would I tell my 6-year-old self professionally? I would say, get online and learn to communicate with human beings on this platform. Because this platform is one platform, but there will be a platform in the future that uses either VR or any kind of video. So you're going to have to learn to communicate and talk to people. And this, I think, going to be part of the future of like how interviews get probably held, right? Do you show up a certain way? And can you communicate? Can you listen? Can you focus? Can you talk on camera? If you're super weird and you show up awkward, like, it's going to be difficult. So learn those skill sets. Then personally, I think there's always a level we go back to the human of Anthony, or the human of Mark, or the human of Veronica, or Lauren, whoever's there. And what ends up happening is we don't comprehend until far too late that we need to open our minds and listen to what's being told. It's almost like, because it's not our idea, we always internally push it away. So when mom tell you something, dad tell you something, they don't really listen sometimes. And I think 16-year-old Anthony, I would have loved to be like, hey, dude, you're not perfect. You don't know everything. Like, dude, open your mind, listen to me. Because if I could have got myself to listen to someone like me at that point, I'm farther progressed as a human internally than I currently am. And even my kids now, like, I'm the guy that teaches this stuff, but I'm dad. Therefore, dad doesn't get all those same nuggets in. But there's ways I try to expand the brain. So what I tell people is, obviously the best time to do it was at 16. The next best time is now. Because a lot of people fail to comprehend that just because you have years behind you does not mean you have wisdom. It just means you've done things. If you've had things happen, but you haven't learned from those things, you don't have any wisdom. You just have experiences. So you're 15 years old, which means you got a lot of years. From what I'm grasping perspective-wise, you're ahead of the most 15-year-olds doing things. My son wouldn't be having his blue blockers on talking to a guy like me on social media. So kudos to you. Love my son, but he's not doing this.
Something that I say to my kind of clients, and I actually coach CEOs, their children, kind of trying to perfect their mind. And obviously after we'll do our podcast, actually got a book coming out that's going to be helping teenagers perfect their mind and thrive in every aspect possible in their life. So whether it be sport, whether it be business, and I'm going to give you the steps to break limiting beliefs, to break judgment from a 15-year-old's perspective and experience. So if Anthony says it, yeah, I'll listen, but there's a difference, as you said, with your son, if I'm saying it. So I'm going to be creating this book. It's going to be in 100,000 homes by the end of the year. And I'm really just creating this to serve others and to serve the teenage community and help them create the mindset that I've created and get into the rooms that I've got into. Because I really believe that my journey is not better than your son's. We're just on different. It's different journeys.
Everyone has different strengths.
So I would firstly, we've got this mastermind happening. It's actually free for now, but it's called the Waymo Teens. And what we're going to do is we bring in guests, and we're trying to help teenagers spend the right time in the right places. Because I really feel that that's where growth happens, is people in communities, in online spaces.
So do this. So pop the link in here, and I'll pin it for a minute, and then I'm gonna hop off. I'm getting a lot of questions on Facebook. I don't want Facebook to get all empty and have me feel like I'm leaving them alone, because I love you guys over here. But pop the link in, I'll pin it. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, there needs to be resources, and people who get the resources have to see someone like them. It's one thing to have a bunch of teenagers hop into something led by a grown man, right? It's a whole other aspect to have teenagers led by someone like them who has a different perspective that can help. So I like that, man. Absolutely. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Raven Simone Torres has a question. She says, I have a huge question maybe you can answer. My 4-year-old boy is obsessed with these videos on YouTube. Kids playing with toys, video games. Is this a bad thing? You want to give your 2 cents, and I'll give my 2 cents? Did you hear the question?
Yeah, you can go first. Yeah, I've been speaking quite a bit.
No worries. Let me see if I can pin your post here if it'll actually let me do this. There we go.
Just see if it works, because it's
well, I hope so. I hope you know your own link, my man. I hope you know your own link. So here's what I would say. Hey, Heidi. When it comes to your 4-year-old watching people opening videos, and I don't think it's a bad thing unless they're saying bad things. I guess in my perspective, all these things are programming our kids, though. However, like there's certain things that they're being put in a position to see. So we're programming our children, right? They're programming this desire to have something. If he walks away from this, and, seeing something, walks away and says, I want this thing, or I feel less than because I don't, then we're starting to have a materialistic perspective show up. If they're to the point where they have to watch this thing and there's a neuroses around it, like that might be great. Or what you can do is like take him outside, make one of these videos with him, get him involved in the process to where he can have some fun and kind of see like the magic of it almost be that it's normal. It's not something that's crazy or different, something you can't do. Because really that's what it boils down to is these kids, like my kids watch all these videos on the internet. And it's weird. Like they're 6 to 12 seconds. They have like attention spans of fish or less. And it's interesting watching what transpires, but we're programming our kids to do things to where if I tell my kids go outside and play for like 20 minutes, within 3 to 5 minutes, they are back in the house because they don't know how to be out. I can't pay attention. Right? It's craziness. So for me, if you see it being a kid, your gut tells you if your kid's doing too much there, pull them away. And you can't just say, don't do that thing. Give them something else as a proactive action to do. That will work. He DM'd me the link. Okay, he's going to DM me the link. All right, cool.
Cool. I think just I know you have to run to the Facebook group, but just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
I think that it's important not to force things upon. So when people kind of hear my story, the first thing they say is, oh, my children are so wrong. And they're spending all this time and it's so negative and it's not what you're doing. And I think we've got to really be careful of judging that and saying, that's where we are as a family. That is where my kid is. And I'm going to guide him and encourage him. But let me not say to him that, look at this kid and he's doing this and go and do what he's doing. Rather encourage and just kind of share slowly. And that's why I've created this book, because I think a worldwide problem is that connecting with teenagers and kind of having that intermediate conversation to just saying, this is where I really encourage you without being too pushy. And trying to kind of say to them, I actually know what's best for you. That's why I've created this book firsthand, because I'm trying to encourage teenagers to say, I'm being on both sides. I understand what your parents are saying. I understand what we're saying. Let's get the way forward and let's get you succeeding and thriving in every aspect possible. So for your 4-year-old, as I'm saying, is slowly integrate things. There's Caleb Maddox has an amazing thing where he's got people start writing down their goals, and he's got books to read for young children where you can start slowly putting things in to help your kids to get to the next stage. Start introducing certain ideas, certain courses, certain videos, and you'll see that's going to be long-term more beneficial than forcing things upon them. You have to read 15 minutes a day. Like, that's not what
It's interesting you say that. It's funny is those who are parents, and I'm a parent, listen to you say that. And there's a perspective that I have. If I always look at as my job is to have my kids do things that they don't want to do that'll make them successful. Now, at the end of the day, that's like an athlete. I played sports, and there's certain ways I want to do things. My coach forced me to do something so I can be better. A lot of it's not their idea because they don't grasp what it is. So I think to force is one thing, but at a certain point, they're like if I gave the reins to my son and said, "Hey, he would watch video games all day. He wouldn't be able to pay attention to his academics. He halfway wouldn't even catch a workout for his track." And so what ends up happening is not many young kids, and this is myself, when I was a kid, I was the same way. I didn't want to do anything I didn't want to do. I had no desire to do anything that I didn't feel like doing. And the problem is the success in life doesn't come from you only doing things you want to do. So I think there's a balance between that. Yes, you don't force your kids to do craziness to where they hate you, but at the same time, if you know certain things are beneficial, like if you know they need to be, taking care of academics, they need to catch a workout, they need to eat better, sometimes you got to force it upon them. Like, damn it, you don't want to do it, but I need you to grasp that this is better for you. The problem is it's not a broad stroke. You can't cover it because the world that I grew up in is not the world that my kids are growing up in or the world my kids will be adults in. Therefore, I know there's certain skill sets, like maybe on social media, certain things. Have a blessed day as well, Sean. Maybe on social media, there's things that they're picking up and doing that their future society will need them to know about, need them to have a skill set around. And if I stop them from doing it altogether right now, am I hindering their ability to be successful in professional worlds later on they'll be in? That's always this weird, nobody knows kind of thing. So
well, I believe moderation in everything. There's always moderation in whatever we do.
Yeah.
However, I do feel that another strategy maybe is that start sharing content with them that you want to get to the point where they're waking up at 5 a.m. They're eating the right stuff. They're reading the books without you having to do it. Because in the beginning, I was exactly like your son. I was exactly like the thousands of
all kids are that way. We all start that way.
But when my dad and when I started listening and reading stuff and viewing stuff online, putting myself in those situations, in those communities, I followed this guy. Then suddenly I followed this guy. Yeah. Now I'm reading his book, and now I'm reaching out to him. Now I'm creating a course with him. Now I'm starting driving revenue with him. So it's all a process and all a journey, but try and get your kids, for instance, listen to my podcast. Because if he hears a 15, I guarantee you, one call with your son right now with me, and I can help him find out where his purpose lies and where he wants to motivate him try and succeed and thrive in every way and every aspect. So instead of you forcing him or saying to him, you know, I really suggest that you focus on your academics. He's going to be there doing his academics when he needs to because of that shift. So it's trying to shift your son's mindset.
Yeah, has to be a perspective.
Trying to shift the kids out.
Always that thing. Yeah. It's got to be their idea.
So anyways,
at the end of the day, it's got to be.
I'm looking forward to our podcast and connecting.
Yeah.
I will also pop you the Waymo Teens link. We've got a call this Friday. We've got actually an NFL guest speaker, huge guy, really successful. He's going to be speaking to the teens on a Zoom call. It's all free. I will pop you the link.
Yeah, pop the link over. And if you guys, you send me DM me the link, and then when you guys are asking, let me know. I'll get the link to Facebook people. All right, Mark.
Perfect.
Talk soon, my man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Anthony. Looking forward.
No problem. Take care.
Send regards to the family. All the best, guys.
Will do.
Thanks.
Someone asked, I don't coach football. I coach my kids in football, but I don't coach anybody else's kids in football. I never actually coach like that. It was never my thing. But yeah, I like his perspective. You know, it's interesting. I think at the end of the day, whenever we have other people in our life, kids, cousins, friends, siblings, no matter what it is, you'll find that it's difficult to get them to be inspired by you. Like I don't inspire my wife. You know, like things I do, she would be like, I'm proud of him, right? But I don't get her to get up and go in the morning. Right? There's things I'll tell her she doesn't pay attention to. Same with my kids. So what you have to realize is just because you have the answer doesn't mean that everybody wants to hear it from you. So what do, right? How do I help this person I love so much be better? What you do is you introduce them to people that inspire you. So what he's kind of saying is take your 15-year-old and put him in front of me and I'll be able to inspire him, right? But the reality is maybe my 15-year-old isn't inspired by him, but maybe there's somebody else that could be, or maybe he is, right? But it's not usually going to come from me, unfortunately. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the reality. You're always around, you do different things, different perspective, different position with this person. So what I recommend is if you don't have somebody, find somebody or introduce your people, your friends, cousins, siblings, kids, whoever it is, introduce them to things that inspired you and then have conversations around their thoughts about it and then let it build and build. Essentially, the end goal is for it to be their idea. Think about it. When someone tells you to do something, force you to do it, you don't want to do it because it wasn't your idea. But if somebody planted a seed, helped water the seed, and you spent time with this thing, eventually you become the person that has an investment in that. So it becomes interesting to where like you own that. It's now your idea. That's always the goal for me with people I work with, whether it's kids or clients. Like I'll plant the seed, plant the idea, but I want you to invest the time because when you invest the time, now it's who you are. Now you protect that action. That ego with the action. Like my son, he's a track guy. It's what he focuses on. Like he's a track athlete. He could beat me in a race now, bastard. He could beat me in a race. But essentially, like he has put time and energy, and I've supported that. I've got him coaches. I've guided him, you know, put him in the AAU outside of high school. We go to the track even now. We'll be at the track later today. We were at the track yesterday. And the reality is he puts time and energy into it to where now it's who he is. He has the jokes of like, haha, dad, I'm faster than you. So he's going to protect that with his actions. So he's going to eat correctly. He's going to lift a little bit. He's going to train. He's going to stay academically eligible, right? That's what he's going to do. So I introduced him to things that inspired him and got him to the place he wanted to. Alejandra says, my girls avoid all what I introduced them to, but later and see them doing those things, they said not exactly have to be their idea. Yes, has to be their idea. Guidance and structure is more valuable than people think. It always is. All right, so that's my live for today. I don't have anything crazy extra special for you. Besides that, I want to have a cool conversation. If you caught the beginning of it, we talked about different levels of people who are walking, who are riding, who are driving, who are pilots, and who are astronauts. My pinky went down with that one. I don't know why. Who are astronauts. So at the end of the day, if you don't know what that is or it's about, log back on after I get off and then listen to that because it was good stuff. You're very welcome, Alejandro. Sending hugs as well. Take care, everybody. God bless. And I'm out. I'll see you guys shortly.